I could have fought, and I could have stayed in this season of like fighting for it and fighting for the business and fighting for assets and doing all that. But I knew I could always make more money.
Angela, was there a moment where you almost didn't go through with it?
Yeah. We walked away with like literally nothing. No money, no asset, like absolutely nothing. People are going to doubt you. Entrepreneurship is very isolating. And most of the people around you, most of the time, unless you happen to be from a family of entrepreneurs, your parents, your siblings, your best friends are all going to think you're crazy. God's protecting you by shutting doors.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to the Coffee with Kofi podcast. Today, I got a powerhouse with me, honestly. She goes by Angela with Unique Genius. And man, there's just so much. Angela is such an inspiration to me in many ways because of what she's been able to do, what she's been able to achieve in this field. I'm not going to yap too much and, give things away. I will start by asking, and first, of course, by welcoming Angela to the podcast show. Thank you so much for being here. Angela, without much further ado, I guess, could you please tell the viewers what you do, who you are, all that good stuff?
Yeah, well, I am honored to be here and excited to just share in your energy today. So thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
A little bit about me. I have been a business owner most of my life, started my first business as a dance studio over 25 years ago. And that led into coaching and consulting other business owners. And then one thing I taught a lot about, I wrote about in my first book is the concept of unique genius. And I believe unique genius is the intersection of your God-given strengths and talents, what lights you up, fuels your fire, and what aligns with your mission and vision. And where those three things intersect, where if you can spend the most time in your unique genius, what's unique to you, not someone else's blueprint, that's how we create the greatest impact, success, wealth, and have the most fun doing it. And so I was coaching and consulting around that and then built a company to help people do that with the tool of virtual assistants. And that's what we do now is help mostly in the home service space, business owners with elite level virtual assistants so that they can work in their unique genius.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I did not know that you run a dance studio, Angela. That is crazy because in my past life, I used to be a dancer / semi-pro choreographer. So I was in hip hop and stuff like that. Yeah. So that is actually very interesting.
We got some stuff in common.
Yeah, we do. I would definitely ask you more about that later. But first, I guess, just to make sure that I can keep on track, I'm wondering, Angela, have you ever been underestimated and knew it instantly?
Yes. Now there's many times, but I would say most recently is as a woman, especially in the area of home services and the trades. And so I started this business 6 years ago. Now I have the honor and privilege of running the business with my husband. We met 3 years ago at a conference, and now he helps me. We do the business together. So we travel and speak together. At the time, he had a Christmas light company and power washing company. So he was in the field and in the trades. But when we go to conferences and are at a booth and people meet us, they look at him and this often in the trades and services, they look at him and just talk to him and act like I don't know anything about the business.
Whoa.
And just recently, a couple people admitted it. They're just like, I didn't know that they're just like, I was just looking at your husband the first few times that we met. Then once they started working with me, they're just like, I just completely dismissed you.
Oh my gosh, that must be so frustrating. I'm wondering like how especially for other women in situations like that, how did you handle that in that moment and how do you flip that into leverage?
Yeah. It used to make me angry. And I think when I
Mm,
was younger, I felt like I needed to have this big voice and step out, and I
mm,
needed the credit or the recognition.
mm,
Um, and now I can, like, we are in the business together. I can let him
mm,
talk about it and know that, like, eventually my light and my brilliance will shine through. Um,
mm.
and they'll get it, but I don't need to be loud about it
Yeah.
or upset and make a big deal, or like a spectacle and be loud. That
Mm.
if you're just true and authentic with your voice and how you speak, people will eventually give you credit, and it doesn't need to be from a loud platform or asking to get attention.
Wow, that's a very insightful way of even looking at it. Because to be honest, it's almost like a path of humility for somebody to take. Because it's as you said, you just easily get angry, and some people or most people, they can't necessarily really handle that anger at the moment that they have it. So
Yeah,
it's a very humbling thing to hear, that you just do what you do what you're good at, speak from your platform, and your light will shine through. That is
yeah.
amazing stuff. Oh my gosh.
And then that little voice inside you is like, eventually they'll see.
Yeah. Eventually they'll see. I love that. Yeah. That little revenge. I like it. Oh my gosh. Angela, you mentioned especially like the dance studio and everything before, and I'm wondering, so before Unique Genius, before you came into this whole perspective and this perception of Unique Genius, who were you really? Who was Angela really before all of that?
Hmm, that's a good question. Well, Uh, I was raised by an entrepreneur. My dad was an
Mm,
entrepreneur. And so I think it's challenging, as my kids are in early adulthood now and seeing this too, that if
mm,
you're raised by an entrepreneur and see the freedom and flexibility
mm,
to design your life, to make more money,
mm,
to create opportunity, all those things, it's hard to fit
mm,
into a job of, like, wait a
mm,
second, am I going to trade time for money? That's really
mm,
strange. Um, And my first experience with that was beforehand, I guess. When I was in high school, like
mm.
at end of high school, for a summer, I sold Cutco knives and did crazy. Like, it was an insane amount of money selling Cutco knives, the percentage that you
What?
made. I'm literally making like thousands of dollars a day some days
Wow.
selling Cutco. And that was then my lesson in, I see my friends making, I don't know, back then, $5 an hour was minimum
Yeah.
wage.
Yeah.
And so they work all day and make like 30, $40. And I was like, man, I made thousands of dollars today. And that was the thing growing up with a dad that was an entrepreneur. And then that experience
Mm.
forever changed my life. That I was like, I will never trade time for money. Like, I have to
Wow.
do something. I'm in control of what I can create. And
Wow.
I say luckily, fate, it happened that I loved dancing. It's not like I
Mm.
decided, hey, this is what I'm going to do with my life, make
Yeah.
a dance studio. But an opportunity came right after I graduated from college to be back in
Mm.
my hometown and open a dance and gymnastics studio. And it
Wow.
was like a dream life. I got to do the thing that I loved and had a passion
Mm.
about and teach other
Mm.
people it, and be a business owner.
Mm.
And so that was the young me, like living in my passion. Just like I said, it felt like a dream. I got to dance
Mm.
and then learn young lessons of a business owner, the things that you don't know, need to know. But a lot of lessons that I, kept getting to continue to share with people, and I'm still passionate about now.
Wow. Wow. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. I'm curious now, even more curious now. Why aren't you still dancing and owning this dance studio, or even a chain of dance studios and in this like lane of passion specifically? Why are you doing what you're doing now instead of that?
See, now I want to ask everyone that danced and then doesn't. It's always like, why do you still dance? I mean, because I loved dancing. I loved getting to
Mm.
dance. I loved teaching dance. I took my kids to Disney
Mm.
World to perform all the time. I loved that.
Ooh.
And
Mm.
chapters closed for a reason. I ended up getting divorced and walking away from that whole life with my kids.
Mm,
And
mm,
that was for a reason. I mean, it was like
mm,
I was decided to shut off that, toxic chapter of my life and energy
mm,
and
mm,
walk away from
mm,
that business and start something new. But the great thing about being an entrepreneur is, yes, I had to walk away from that season of dance, although
mm,
my kids were then teenagers at the time, like older teenagers. And so teaching dance at night would have been hard in that chapter because I would have missed
mm,
their games and things. And so that all ended up working out. But even though I like left everything and left everything that I had built, as an entrepreneur, you never start over from zero. Like, even if you're
mm,
starting over from zero financially
mm,
and it's like the business that you built is gone, you take with you that wisdom that you learned in business ownership. And that's a whole
mm,
new platform to launch
mm.
from.
Man,
So
Angela, was that hard? Was it hard to just walk away from a marriage, walk away from a business you've built, all of that? I'm wondering, was that hard to do?
it was really hard. It was It was really hard. It was not hard to walk away from. I mean, I knew I needed to, like, I would no longer survive.
Mm,
Me kids and I would no longer survive in that environment. And so it wasn't
mm,
difficult to say, this is the decision I need to make to leave that.
mm,
But
mm,
um, I could have fought and I could have stayed in this season of like fighting for it and fighting for the
mm,
business and fighting for assets and doing all that. But I remember making the decision, even though it was hard, it was. I mean, you build a business and it's like your baby. Not only is it your
yeah,
passion, but whatever it is, like, I think it was
yeah,
extra. It was dance and it was
mm,
this thing I worked so hard to build.
yeah,
But I knew I could always make more money and I
mm,
could build something again. But if I stayed and fought for something, like, I could never get that energy back.
mm,
I could never get that negative energy back of fighting, and I could walk away with my energy and build something new.
mm. Wow. So then, what pushed you into this space specifically? Because dancing and then VAs for home services, really huge difference, like opposite spectrums. I wonder what really pushed you into this space specifically.
It is a huge difference.
Mm,
So in that business ownership, even when I still had the dance studio, I was helping other dance studio owners be more successful and profitable. And then that led to more
mm,
business consulting and coaching. And I was
mm,
always talking about the concept of unique genius. Like, this is what you need to do. Like, this is the number one thing as a small business owner to help you be more successful, is to stop
mm,
trying to do everything. Stop, busy isn't a badge of honor. Stop trying to do it all yourself. Get help, and get help right away.
mm,
And hire help, delegate the rest of this so that you can go grow your business and do the things. And I talked about it all the time, but I was frustrated with, like, I didn't have a hiring solution, or just it
mm,
wasn't a solution. So when I went to start, I made some really great relationships in the Philippines, and and really high level people,
mm,
not like the typical virtual assistants that I and most people had experience with at the time.
mm,
And I was like, this is going to be the solution, so that when I'm talking to business owners, like, this is the solution. Here is your high level person to delegate to.
mm,
And I actually ended up in home services in a crazy way. I
mm,
lived in Nebraska all my life. I now live in North Carolina, but um, lived in Nebraska, had a lot of relationships in networking and business with lawn and landscape, roofing owners, a lot of those relationships. So
mm,
they were my first clients as well, because that's who I was in
mm,
the chamber and things with.
mm,
Um, but I wrote a book about the time I started the business. My book was released,
mm,
and I was traveling a lot, getting a lot of speaking arrangements for my book,
mm,
and ended up with my own show on Turfs Up Radio, which led to me getting lots of speaking engagements at lawn and landscape conferences. And at the time, I was kind of like, what am I doing? How did I get here? Like I launched this book. Like I did not think this was the avenue. I was a funny business owner when I look at it back at the time, because I was literally like just promoting my book and
Mm,
so excited to be on stages and podcasts talking about
mm,
my book that I wasn't talking about my business at the same time either. It was
mm,
silly. But that's how I ended up so heavily in the trades,
mm,
is that's the people I was networking with and speaking with. And then once that started, I was like, wow, we can really dial this in,
mm,
because if we have so many lawn and landscape clients, we can get people trained up in lawn and landscape. We can get people trained up in roofing
mm,
and the software in roofing. And so that
mm,
when we place them, they're all, trained and ready to go. And then those
mm,
people can stay a part of a mastermind and help
mm.
each other get better.
Man, that is interesting. It's the part like I'm literally hearing just ringing like, man, what am I doing? That's the part that like a lot of business owners feel sometimes, because it's just, and I'm wondering, like, I like us to just go back to that moment where it was like, you didn't know what the heck was going on. You didn't know what the heck you were doing. You were just doing it. Why did you keep going anyways? Like if business owners that are in your shoes in that specific moment, for them, how did you make it through that moment? What kept you going? How were you able to make it through to make Unique Genius what it is today?
Yeah. I remember people asking me what I was doing, because I all of a sudden was traveling to all these home service conferences.
Mm,
People are like, what are you doing? And I said, and they're like, why did you choose to have a radio show on Turf Step Radio? And I remember saying, and like, I'm just going to keep walking through open doors. Like I'm in a season that if a door opens, I'm just going to keep walking through every door people open for me. And that's not always a good idea. Sometimes open doors can be distractions, and we're not supposed to
mm,
do that as a business owner. But I
mm.
was in a stage of building, and I just felt that's what I was supposed to do. That I was just going to keep walking through doors that were opening for me.
Oh my gosh, that hit me right in the heart. That is, I've literally wrote that down. That is amazing. That is such an amazing piece right there, just to say it. Wow, Angela, was there a moment where you almost didn't go through with it?
Uh, yeah. Oh, um, even in starting this business. So
Mm.
it's starting this business starts with another divorce.
Oh no.
I've gotten a lot right and a lot wrong in my life.
Mhm.
But went through a second divorce and closing that chapter of business
Wow.
and career. And once again,
Mm,
made this tough decision of like, I can be in this a couple year long ugly fight and fight for
mm,
everything I've built again,
mm,
or I can walk away with my energy and immediately walk away from that negativity, just knowing that again being in this fight and being in this negative energy any longer would destroy me.
wow.
And so I literally started from zero again. And
Wow.
this time my kids were my I have one kid in college. um my oldest was in college, and then my second about to go to college, and we walked away with like literally nothing. No money, nothing, no asset, like absolutely nothing. Again,
Wow.
when I'm in such a farther state in life,
Mm,
and thinking like, I don't know if I can push through. I had the idea for this business that I hadn't been
mm,
able to, start then.
mm,
And I wanted to write this book and start this business. And there was a moment of like, I don't know if I can do this again. I'm just
mm,
all by myself as a single mom,
mhm,
um, kids who need me to help them with college.
mm.
And do I have it in me to start from zero again and
Wow.
build something from nothing?
Wow.
And um, I made a decision to do it. I remember walking around listening to the book Illusion of Money
Hmm.
and deciding like, no, I am not going to go work for someone else. I'm not just going to like just get by.
Hmm.
I I am I'm going to build this.
Wow. Wow. Angela, how did you do that? How because I can't even imagine. Number one, I definitely can't imagine me being a man as well too, like being a single mother of kids and having nothing, walking away from a second divorce as well too, which must have been absolutely so crushing. And then now starting a business from scratch again with nothing in hand. I can't imagine how you could possibly do that. How could you do that? How did you pull it off?
Yeah, it was literally with nothing. I mean, my kids were old enough to know,
Hmm.
right? It's different when they were younger the first time, and
Hmm.
I'm thinking, how am I going to feed you?
Hmm.
They're old enough to know, like, mom, maybe you should get a job. Like, how is this idea
Oh,
gonna pay for rent?
oh my God.
Literally, mom. Like, how are we gonna pay rent? What are we gonna do? What is our life? They were just old enough to super question me, and that was harder in this
Wow.
one. Of like, seriously, mom, what are we gonna do? And
Wow.
it's so interesting to hear them now. Now I've built this amazing business
Hmm.
and a global business, and they see me on stages, and my daughter works in the company, and to hear her doubt me before of like, this is nothing. What is this even an idea? Um, you are crazy. And she thought that, for the first year, like I kept building and, in the beginning, you're just getting by. I tried to not let them live without anything, and they both were in college and had great lives. But um, it's amazing how far I had to build, I think, before they really thought it was something and were like, oh my gosh, this is a
Wow.
real thing. But yeah, I started with not, and luckily it's a business that it wasn't a trades business. I didn't need to
Hmm.
start by going and getting a loan and, getting a bunch of trucks.
Hmm.
I could start it with relationships and with a computer
Hmm.
and going out and selling my way out of anything, going back to the Cutco sales days and like, I'm going to sell and go get some clients and make this work.
Wow.
It's strange talking about it because it's just like, how did I have the bravery if I think at this point to like just go get some clients and create something from nothing?
Wow. Wow. Supermom. Supermom. I gotta say, Angela, that is because it's one thing building a business from nothing twice. It's another thing building a business from nothing twice and having essentially your whole worlds, your mini me's that actually matter to you the most that doubt you.
Yeah.
To business owners that to other business owners that similar situations or even a situation of where they have the people closest to them that matter the most doubt them.
Hmm.
Do you have any words of advice as to how you did that in order for you to push forth?
Yeah. I want to just breathe belief into you that like people are going to doubt you. Entrepreneurship is very isolating.
Hmm.
And most of the people around you, most of the time, unless you happen to be from a family of entrepreneurs, like your parents, your siblings, your best friends are all going to think you're crazy.
Hmm.
And they can't see your vision. And your vision is what makes you unique.
Hmm.
Um, and just have belief that that will you can bring that into fruition. And I think it's so important as entrepreneurs to get yourself a tribe of
Hmm.
other entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
Get yourself a coach if you can, but at
Hmm.
least get yourself in a group of other entrepreneurs that are crazy visionaries as well.
Hmm.
And that's so important because otherwise your vision will die. Because you will let the doubters that are going to say, what if you don't make it? spiral your beliefs and your worry down. But other entrepreneurs will spiral your beliefs up and keep
Mm.
raising your vision and make it bigger. So I think one of the most important things as an entrepreneur is to get yourself a tribe of people that think bigger than you.
Oof. That's amazing advice. That's really amazing advice. My gosh. A bit of a weird question here, Angela, if you will. What were you afraid would happen if you did go all in?
I think going all in, like you, I still had that fear of failure. Like if I went all in, and I did go all in, but I remember having several, and this happens as you grow a company. I think there's a lot of moments of fear of going all in at the next level, going all in bigger. And the more you go all in, the more, I hate to say embarrassing, but right, you're on a bigger platform to fail. So I went all in for the business. There was no plan B. I wasn't necessarily scared of failing and like we wouldn't have any money or all that. Like I wasn't scared of that part, but I've always been scared at the part of putting myself out there. And what if I put myself out there to everyone? What if I step on the stage of like, this is it. I am the authority. We are this big. And then that's not true. So that's the part of all in that scares me, is putting myself all out there
Yeah.
on bigger platforms that people could see me fail.
Wow. But it paid off in many ways, it seems.
It continues to pay off. I continue to be brave. So it always pays off if you go all in, and that's the only way to be. If you're holding back as an entrepreneur, like you're holding yourself back, you're holding everything back, you're holding your success back. Like the only way to be is all in, so that everyone on your team is all in too.
Oh my gosh. It's very insightful again, because it's like, again, somebody of your caliber, somebody that has done and achieved what you've achieved. And you were afraid, which is entrepreneurship, right? There's lots of fears, unsurmountable fears at times to do that. Like what helped you push through those fears in order for you to go all in, to just put yourself out there, as you're saying? Like, how did you do that?
A little bit of crazy. I have to say that because not everyone else. I mean, there's just a little bit of like the thing within you that is that brave, that you can harness that courage, that you have that courage to take risks. And I think that's part of an entrepreneur, is that you can just harness that crazy courage inside you to jump. And sometimes it just takes that. And some people don't have that I'm like, all right, I'm not going to overthink it. And I'm just going to take this risk.
Yeah.
And then the second would be the circle of people that you're surrounding yourself with, the books that you read, the podcasts that you listen to, the people that are in your head. And I just believe in it so strongly that if I would have isolated myself, my kids would have scared me. Not because they're on purpose negative people, but they were scared and doubters, and they would have made me scared if I would have isolated myself, or if I would have, the people that are like, what exactly is it that you think you're doing? And not knowing, I took risks not knowing. I didn't know that this is where we'd be, or be this elevated in this arena. So one, just harnessing that courage, like again, leaning into that crazy. And then the second was really just not isolating myself.
Wow. Great advice. So truly great advice. Oh my gosh. Angela, what's something that men get away with in your industry that women don't, that you've seen?
A lot.
Oh, oh my God.
um, I mean, the trades and service industry is very dominated
Mm,
by men.
mm,
Um, very. I mean, there's a lot of fields that are um, there's integrated, and there's a lot. I mean, most of the things that I did in business. I mean, first as a
mm,
dance studio, that was all women, and
mm.
then I had a chapter where I drove a Cadillac in Mary Kay for a while. That was all women.
Okay.
Um, and fields of all women bring different problems because there's a lot more emotionality. There's just a lot more emotion involved.
Yeah.
But now it is a very male dominated field, and women are just treated differently.
Mm,
And it's hard to say what men get away with, but I
yeah.
don't think men judge each other as much.
Yeah.
So they're just um, men don't judge other men, so they get away with a lot because there isn't as much judging happening. um, and women judge other women in this field as well. Like it's hard as
Mm,
a woman. I feel like you're looked at more under a microscope, and
mm.
men judge you, um, and so do women. Like
Wow.
other women are like, "Are you really a person of authority? Do you
Mm,
know what you're talking about?" A lot of men
mm.
can get away with just anything. They can be acting like an authority and they're not an authority. Like
Yeah.
acting like they have success and acting like
Mm,
they're an authority to be able to teach, and
mm.
they don't have any platform of that. Where I think as a woman, you really have to prove yourself.
Wow. Wow. That is very interesting. So I'm wondering, like, did you ever feel like you had to adjust who you were to be taken seriously because of something like that?
I haven't adjusted, and I would say
Mm,
that's my superpower is like I have, and I probably would have if it would have been at a different state of my life. But I came
mm,
into this industry at a point where I was really secure and confident
mm,
in who I am, what my brand is, and what my image is, and like this is who I am.
mm,
And I before definitely a version of me 10 years ago would have adjusted to fit in and would have constantly evaluated, is this the way I'm supposed to show up?
mm,
And I don't now. Like this is who I am.
mm.
For example, I think it's also harder and more judged to be, I hate to say this because I'm not saying I'm an attractive woman, but like it's harder to be, you're also judged, like, are you showing up just as this attractive woman in these industries?
Mm.
Um, that more like you're just the somebody on someone's arm or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's something I could have changed. I could have scaled myself back of like, this isn't the way I appear. This isn't the way I dress,
Mm,
um, to be more subdued or
mm,
look a different way or play a different character.
mm,
And this version of me is like, this is who I am. This is my authentic self.
mm,
I'm not trying to impress anyone or do this for anyone else. Like, this is me. And I'm not going to subdue myself, my
mm,
energy, or
mm.
any part about me to try and make someone else happy.
I love that. Unapologetically just being yourself. Oh man, yes, I love that. I wonder because I know in speaking with many women at times, I guess there's so much stuff where women just see some things that men don't see many times, which is what I'm
Yes.
coming to realize lately. And I'm wondering, do you is there like an unspoken rule that women learn quickly in your space other than men?
I don't know about an unspoken rule, but women
Mm,
do notice things that men don't notice.
mm,
And that is to our advantage. Like, I
mm,
believe I'm a better listener. I catch things better. I pick up on people's, and that may partly be because I'm a woman, but it's also part of my characteristics. But I think I see it in more women that um, we just have more. of an empathy, and like
Mm,
I sense emotion or when someone's struggling, and can be more compassionate or in the
mm,
moment
mm,
when that's what somebody needs. So much more sensitive to where someone's coming from, whether that be in a sales process, when I'm leading or mentoring someone,
mm,
that it's not like, hey, this is the plan. It's you can lean in and listen to what's going on and what's
mm,
going on with that person and what it is that they need, what, fears they're having, what things are coming up for them, what place they're coming from,
mm,
and speak and help them as a whole being, not
mm.
just here's the plan.
Okay. Noted. Be more attentive. Be more
And that's
attentive.
not all men, and that's not all women, but a lot of times people in sales and
Mm,
in leading and teaching, for sure,
mm.
people just like, this is the script, this is my message, not
Yeah.
this is what you need to hear.
That's a very, very intriguing perspective as well too. And I'm wondering where, just based off of that as well too, because I'm sure that you've also taken that perspective because you've seen many people, men and women, I guess, drop the ball in those situations.
Mhm.
How much more do you think somebody would be able to achieve or do if they were more attentive, and really just put the script aside, just deal with that person in that moment right there and then, in order for you to fulfill or truly help this person?
So huge in leadership,
Hmm.
so huge in leadership is, putting your ego aside and focusing on the energy that other person is bringing.
Hmm.
And I am one that is so into personality tests. Like I love Gallup Strengths and DISC and Myers-Briggs and all those things. Some people just rely too heavily on those. Again, they're following the script and they're like, okay, this is what I'm reading about you. This is who you are. So that's how we're supposed to interact in this leadership scenario.
Hmm.
Instead of just like, let me arrive and sense the energy
Hmm.
and then be able to go from there
Hmm.
instead of my agenda and plan.
Wow. I, man, I love that so much. I just had a call with a lady called Barb Leclerc, who's into like the whole strength test and stuff like that as well too. She's got this whole thing going on, and you just saying that just reminded me of her. She's amazing. Well, that is so interesting here. I've got a little bit of a controversial question as well too, because it's something that I have it's something I have women in my life has said many times, especially women with careers and stuff like that. And it makes me really wonder, in your opinion, do you think women have to be better than men to get the same amount of respect?
No, not better. Um, I think you have to own your energy. You have to be
Hmm.
confident in who you are.
Hmm.
That I think people have looked at it that way for a long time. Like to get the
Yeah.
same amount of respect, or if there's two candidates for a position, that in order
Hmm.
for the woman to get it, they would have to be better.
Hmm.
But what is better? What is better? So if two people are applying for a position, I mean, maybe somebody that's looking at that, or to get the same respect or to have
Hmm.
the same respect on a stage,
Hmm.
think the woman needs to be better for the person to select you.
Hmm.
Um, the truth is, man or woman, like your energy needs to stand out.
Hmm.
And if you're confident in your energy and what you bring to the table, like
Hmm.
you're naturally going to shine. Um, if it's someone selecting you and it's a position and they're more drawn to the man, then so be it. Like that's what they're selecting that they want to work with. Um,
Hmm.
and they want to, and they're not attracted in I'm not saying it, in a romantic way, but not
Hmm.
attracted in a way that um, they want to be in your energy. And so maybe that's not the best place for you anyway.
Wow.
Um, but I think that's kind of a different look than most people have at it. But
Mm,
I think a lot of people, and this was me again
mhm,
too, tried too hard to be better, or
mm,
like I tried to make myself better than the man, or like the man. Like, okay, what is he doing, and how can I like be better than that, instead of how can I just be so great in my energy,
mm.
my confidence in who I am, that I'm the choice if this is the energy they want.
Wow, that is a very, very that is the first time I've heard that take. I'll be very honest, because it's normally always the women in my life and stuff like what people are normally saying is always like you have to be 5 or 10 times better in order to get the same position as the man. But I've never heard the aspect of be comfortable in your energy, just bring it forth, do what you're doing best, and if they don't pick you, that's who they want. It's okay. Just keep on moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
And your energy will open doors that are meant for you. That's the era that I'm in. Like, be so great in your energy and your confidence in who you are. Don't try and be better than somebody else. And you will open the doors that are meant for you.
Wow. That is I want to dive there a little bit more, because it's a very interesting perspective, right? It's like, because you speak on energies a lot, and you speak of, like opening doors and stuff like that a lot as well too. What is your mindset when it comes to these aspects? Like especially for, because I know there's many people, both men and women, right, that are trying so hard every single day to be 10 times better than the next person. Trying to always achieve this specific goal or dream or whatever it could be, right? But you are just in an era or a place where you're like, hey, I am me. I'm doing what I'm doing, and should the door open and my energy is right, this is for me. What kind of mindset shift did you go through to get to this place you're at now?
Yeah. And definitely a shift. So I'm glad you say it that way, because I
Mm,
used to be. And so I'll kind of say patterns I used to follow, and maybe how that changed. And I used to very much look at the competition,
mm,
um, in whether it be the competition in my industry, or the competition of the people that were winning stages that I wanted to win,
mm,
or getting deals that I wanted to get. And if you just always, now there's things to look at in the competition, right? Like, why is that person selected for a keynote speech? What can I learn from that keynote? What can I
mm,
learn from that energy? There are things that
mm,
we can learn from people who have trailblazed the path above us, and we
mm,
can choose people that we want to learn from. So there's nuggets that we can take from that, like from the people that have gone the places that we aren't yet, right? But
mm.
man, there is so much negative energy in looking at the competition, and looking at what they're constantly doing and thinking like, oh, they had that win. Why did they get that one? Uh, and oh, it's just negative. And then what you're doing is coming from this place of negativity, like, oh,
Mm,
I'll get them.
mm,
I one more deal, or I'll get them, or I'm gonna get that award because they got that award. And it's just, you're like constantly, and I definitely used to do that.
mm,
I'm describing myself, of I used to look at that, and
mm,
it just was a shift in, like, that didn't feel good.
mm,
And starting to work a lot more on myself, and my
mm,
word for this year is frequency. So I do talk a ton about energy,
mm,
and like, how can I be the next best version of myself?
mm,
How can I constantly be working on myself, raising my vibration, raising my energy?
mm,
I can create new opportunities for me. Now, I'm still
mm,
looking at, there's still a time and a place to look at, like, these are things that I want. These are stages that I want. These are things that
mm,
we good. These are clients that we want to win.
mm,
Um, and how do we do those? How do we set those in mind? But I kind of
mm,
let other people in the company focus on that. Like, you know, you guys focus on these like tactical growth strategies of not beating these people, but looking what they're doing, implementing those. And how can I go, like I said, open door? Like, what are
Mm,
different possibilities we haven't even thought of? People
mm,
are diminishing or lowering their standards because they're so worried about competing with this person that's right there
mm,
that they're not going for some opportunity they can't even see that's so much higher.
mm. Man, man, gems. Absolute gems. Very, very interesting as well, too. And it
I
makes
just
so
need to
much
listen to my own advice. I just need to play this tape over in my head.
sense.
Because it's real easy to, especially with social media, to get
Yeah.
obsessed of what's right here.
Yeah, very true. It's easy to always slip back into bad habits and stuff. It's just that
Yeah.
aspect of moving forward. Oh, yeah, I love this. Man, Angela, I'm wondering for other women out there, if a woman is entering a male dominated industry today, like you have, what's step one for them? Like, what should they do for step one, would you say, in your opinion?
Own who you are. Just don't think you have to shape shift into something or diminish your energy um, in any way to fit in with the guys. Own who you are and show up in that confidence, and you're going to network your way. Just have conversations,
Hmm,
network, make connections, make friends. Um, there's some people that will be uncomfortable with you,
hmm,
and it's not necessarily about you. It's
hmm,
about them.
hmm,
Some men have something going on in, I mean, this is like a whole psychological conversation, but honestly, some men have something going on in their own life or their own relationship or their own marriage that
hmm.
they just don't feel comfortable having a deeper conversation with a woman, even if it's about business.
Yeah.
And that doesn't diminish you or leave you out of a business conversation. That just
Hmm,
happens to be where they're at. There's plenty of
yeah.
other people to talk to and network.
Hmm,
And if you hit blocks like that,
hmm,
it's okay. No one's trying to leave you out. I've
hmm,
never felt that. I've never felt like left out or excluded or like I was, in the wrong place.
hmm,
Um, Show up, be yourself, have confidence, and like you will fit in and make incredible networking connections that will continue to introduce you to people if you show up in the right energy. And just know, like I said, just like anything in life, if people are having a hard time with you, it's something that they have going on, and it's
hmm.
okay. You can dismiss that.
I love that. What would you say she should ignore that most people would tell her to do based off of your experience?
I would say ignore those doors that are closing. So kind of
Wow.
like that when people aren't for you,
Hmm,
a lot of people tell you to try and figure that out. So like when you get
hmm,
no's or somebody is dismissing you,
hmm,
like try and figure out how to get through that door, like figure out another person to talk to or push your way through it. And I've just found that energy isn't great. I just go open other, like, just pivot and open other ones. Like nothing
hmm,
relied on that. Maybe try again later. Um, it usually just means, and this is a kind of another way of putting it, like God's protecting you by shutting doors.
wow.
And like maybe that wasn't for you at this time.
Hmm,
And that's a hard thing because it doesn't mean like, oh, somebody said no and I shouldn't keep trying.
yeah.
Um, there's a difference in that, but
Hmm,
it's also okay if a connection isn't made, like just brush that off.
hmm.
You don't have to try so hard
Wow.
um, to get
Wow.
people to like you or to keep pushing through. Just keep making connections.
Wow. This is very, very insightful and interesting because normally I've heard the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like so it's an interesting perspective as well too. And I'm curious, like, do you believe in God, Angela?
Do I believe in God?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Would you say he's the reason why you have this mindset shift or this perspective on the closed doors? That's okay. Opening doors. open doors are the ones that you just walk into an aspect? Because I guess I'm getting that sense, but I don't want to assume.
Yeah, that like I believe in the power of like God within me as well, and
Mm,
that is part of the energy of um, protecting
mm,
and honoring,
mm,
like honoring who I am, honoring
mm,
my energy, not trying to be someone else, but honoring what is created and who I am, um, and then honoring those energies of other people, and yes, doors that are open and opportunities that we see. And I
mm,
think it also has a lot to do with, and this is definitely a shift in myself. And so I definitely was like this control person, and it was all
mm,
about me, my way, my control, instead of
mm,
like letting go, holding things with a little more of an open hand, surrender, and like, what am I not seeing?
mm.
And it is a hard balance, right?
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, that's a really hard balance. And it's probably my biggest struggle still is when
Mm,
are we supposed to push through?
mm,
When are we supposed to like, I have this goal, like here's our goal this month and I'm supposed to fight and push through. There are times you are supposed, like, I still believe you're supposed to as well.
mm, mm,
You're supposed to like drive the energy and push it through. And
mm.
there's times that we're supposed to let go and surrender and like see another path. Just so often we're just so busy knocking on this one door
Yeah.
that we can't see the bigger one that's already open up here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man, I love that, and I can really tell as well too how formative that is in your life, because it's really interesting. It's a very hard thing to master or to do in order for you to like try and I guess control yourself and not really try and push through this other thing or not do this other thing. So what would you how do you do it? Because it's just as you said, it's still one of your most difficult things to like control or to handle. How do you
Yeah.
do it?
It is one of my most difficult things to handle and to help people do.
Yeah,
Of and it's to know which one, I think,
yeah,
you know,
mm,
to in a situation know is this the time I'm supposed to push through? Or is this the time? And so I think a lot of people talk about it in a way of like wisdom and discernment, you
yeah,
know, that you're asking for wisdom and discernment to know, is this the time I'm supposed to push through?
mm,
Or is this the time I'm supposed to let go?
mm,
So I'm still learning that, but I think the biggest lesson is being open and knowing that there are both.
mm,
Previous seasons, I was all about banging everything into existence the way I wanted it. Like
mm,
that was it. That was the one way there was. I was banging it into existence and I was going to make each thing happen. And so I think that first step is just awareness. Like there is another way, that sometimes like take a step back and just get some perspective. And then you might not know. There might still be times you struggle of like, am I supposed to go after this or am I
yeah,
supposed to let go? But if you take a second and let go, you can at least see a perspective of, is my energy better served? Is there an opportunity for my energy to be better served somewhere else?
Angela, you're a very introspective person. A very introspective person, and I love it so much. There's so much I'm learning from this conversation about you, about myself, and I hope also the viewers as well. So there's just so much, whether man or woman, you can really just take into account to really try and just get to that next level or persevere in the
Mm-hmm.
situation. I
Well, you've
gotta
gone deep. You've asked me some real deep questions.
I did. Yes. I always love to get deep into these things because I'm like, it's what makes such successful business owners like you tick, and it's very insightful, the lessons that you've put down here for us. So it's like I'm really happy, and I thank you so much for being transparent and also sharing with us as well too. So I love this. I have rapid fire questions for you.
Okay, there's more.
There's more. There's more, and I promise I'll let you go real soon. Respect or money?
Respect.
Confidence or competence?
Confidence.
Wow. Interesting. Play
I
nice
can
or
surround myself with confident people.
okay, so okay, very interesting perspective because I'm like I normally do not I cannot stand incompetence. That's the thing for me. So I'm like it's
So
interesting for
that's me.
me.
I want to be confident, but I
Mm,
know I can surround myself with
with
people that are confident in anything that I'm not.
interesting. Oh, okay, very interesting perspective shift. Okay, got it. Play nice or play to win.
Oh, that one's really hard.
Yeah,
I don't want to play mean. That one's hard and
yeah,
probably be surprising because I just am a winner. So I want to say play to win, but I do
yeah.
want to be nice along the way.
It's very interesting as well too because it's like my sales coach Tim Barry. He always tells me he's like Kofi, you can be right or you can win, but you can't do both. So choose one, which is like the hardest thing ever. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So which one would you say for you? Because I'm
I'm
very
going to say
curious.
play to win.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. One word people use to describe you that's wrong.
Um, what's coming to mind is standoffish. The people that
Wow.
don't take time to know me
Interesting.
might think I'm
Stand
standoffish.
up. Why would people think that? You're like, I think you're like the warmest person, one of the warmest people I know.
Because I'm not always like I take time to be warm in one-on-one and eye
Hmm.
contact with people, and
Hmm.
it's harder when I'm in like a big group
Hmm.
for me to have those engaging conversations with
Hmm.
everyone.
Hmm. I guess that makes sense. Okay. One trait that got you here today.
Confidence.
Confidence. Oh yeah, okay. I love it. Okay. Okay. I guess the last question for you. I now know and truly understand what unique genius actually means to you. I'm wondering, what is one belief someone needs to drop if they want to win in a room that's not built for them?
One belief somebody needs to drop if
Yeah.
they want to win in a room that's not built for them.
Yeah.
That you have to be someone else. That you have to, turn into somebody else that won that room or be
Mm.
like we talked about, be better than the person that won that room.
Mm.
That you need to focus on being better than yourself.
Wow. Angela, thank you so much for being here. This has been amazing, amazing, amazing. You have dropped so many gems. It's such huge lessons. I know the viewers and I both are really gonna like carry a lot across into our lives and more. God bless you richly as well too. Is there anything that you if I don't know if maybe anybody wants to connect with you or anything of that sort, how can someone get in touch with you whatsoever if they're interested in your services or even networking?
Yes. Well, first, thank you. This was amazing and a soul digging experience for me. I don't think I've ever said a lot of those things out loud.
Yeah.
So, thank you for a powerful conversation. And yeah, I just feel very blessed to be here
Thank you.
and with your energy today. So, if anyone wants to reach me, I'm all on all social media at Angela Chanowsky. So, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And then our website is unique-genius.com.
Awesome. Love it. I love it. Thank you so much once again. Guys, I hope this has been monumental for you as it has been for me. There's a lot I'm going to be implementing in my life in my perspective shift. But without much further ado, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.